The great number of people on a daily basis, from politicians to cops to retired military to coworkers of all types. Would you say that you're a pretty good judge of evaluating character and moods?
Absolutely. Been working with the public for 25 years and counting.
For 25 years and counting. Okay, now how long did we live together?
For about 4.5 years, from January 11 to June of 15.
Okay, so from January 2011 to June of 2015. In that time, were you able to witness the effects of my medical conditions?
Yes, I did witness the effects of your medical conditions.
And could you describe those?
Your health declined in many different ways. Lots of pain, very little sleep. Appetite fluctuated as well.
Okay, now, as far as sleep, I just want to drill into that a little bit. Did you ever see me go days without sleep?
Yes.
You did. Was that fairly often or very rare?
It's hard to say. I mean, often it just depended on the weather, depending on your pain,
Right.
whether your medicine was working to help with the pain.
Exactly. And did I have to try various different medications to try to treat my pain?
Yes.
Okay. Now, did you accompany me to various medical appointments and come into the rooms with doctors?
Yes, I did.
And did you get a chance to see medical reports?
Yes, I did.
And what did you draw from them?
Learned about your knee problems and your back, how it's worsened over time, and your knees have worsened over time, or gotten worse, and that basically it's just declining.
Right. Both were in a steady state of decline, you would say?
Yes.
Okay. Now, your daughter is about the same age as my daughter. How would you describe her relationship with me?
My daughter had and still has a very wonderful relationship with you. Very caring and loving on both ends.
This is hard for me. Okay. Did I ignore, mistreat, belittle, or in any way disparage your daughter at any time in the past?
No, you did not. And if you did, you wouldn't have been around for very long. So,
You would have kicked me in the good knee, right?
yes.
Okay.
You did not mistreat her in any way.
Right. Did I routinely do things to try to motivate her to continue getting straight A's, including help with homework, giving her money or my prized NHL memorabilia, and teach her the importance of the good grades, and listen to her in long conversations, speak about what was important to her?
Absolutely.
And
Yes, you did.
and did I routinely go into teaching with her about the importance of being kind, of not being racist or sexist, and of treating visiting guests like royalty?
Oh, yes, all the time.
I was kind of preachy in that way, wasn't I?
Yes, very
Yeah.
much so.
I didn't want to. Yeah, well, there's going to be a little bit bad about me in here, but not too much. So the next one is, have I ever shown any violence toward you or your daughter?
No, not at all. None was ever shown.
Okay.
To either one of us in no way, shape, or form.
Okay, but just to be clear, this includes being physically violent, yelling, throwing things, destroying property, making verbal or written threats, or anything of that nature.
No, nothing.
Let's say you're being creative and you're thinking, okay, this one time I almost saw him. Yeah. Would anything come to mind?
Maybe a raising of a voice, but that would be from just lack of sleep and frustration, but never anything else.
Right. Okay, now, on those occasions that I raised my voice, was there ever any argument that followed, or?
No, absolutely not.
Okay.
It's like when you stub your toe and you say, ouch.
Right. And I kind of live with a permanent stub toe, but that's a whole nother issue. So, next is, did you spend a significant amount of time around my mom and stepdad and communicate with some of my sisters?
Yes, I did.
Okay, now, did they ever indicate that there was any reason to think I might be violent or in any way mentally unstable?
No, they did not.
Not even a little bit?
Not even a little bit.
Okay, now your daughter and I spent a good deal of time alone together. Did you ever have any reason to not trust me to take care of her?
No, not at all.
Okay.
No reason. No reason.
All right, just a few more questions here. On a few occasions, you were verbally attacked, and at one point, your property was attacked by people. Did I approach and confront those people in your defense in person?
Yes, you did. You were standing up for me and my property because I couldn't be here.
Right. And do you think that I would do that if it happened again?
love and care about.
Thank you. I didn't prepare you for that, but I love the impromptu stuff. Without getting too specific, due to parental alienation syndrome, which you and I have talked about, kids don't like to hear bad stuff about either parent. And as someone pointed out earlier, I've already, thrown a few barbs at my ex-wife that I shouldn't have, but I did. Could you describe
Well, she deserves it.
See,
Sorry.
well, I know you're right, but I'm afraid that if I get too descriptive, that it'll hurt Marlo in the end.
Okay.
But going on with this now, could you describe the impression you got from the messages sent back and forth between you and my ex-wife? And did I ever try to stop or interfere with that communication? And did I, in fact, not encourage you to see for yourself what she was like?
Yes, you did. The question might, let me see. Honestly, the impression I got from our discussions and the messages was that she was mean, hateful, and quite frankly, a psychopath.
Mm-hmm.
That's my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
She pretended to be your daughter and messaged me verbally attacking you,
Mm-hmm.
and I have proof of that. And you did encourage me to see what was going on so that I could judge for myself. You never said anything.
Right.
I didn't even know you for a very long time, and I already knew that there were major issues with her for the simple fact that
Mm-hmm.
you couldn't speak with your daughter.
Exactly. And this isn't stuff I tried to convince you of or told you much about, right?
No,
You just
didn't
observed.
We knew each other for a short time, and
Mm-hmm.
when I knew you had a daughter and you didn't converse with her even on a telephone or via email,
Mm-hmm.
that told me I don't care how much you dislike a parent, that's no good for a child.
Amen. I agree with that.
I would never do that to my daughter.
I know. And you have a very personal story, which I won't share right now, that would make you even more appreciative of being able to have a solid relationship with your father.
Absolutely. I would
Amen.
give anything. I would give a second. I would give a minute if I could have it.
Amen. I had various interactions with your friends and their children, many of your daughter's friends as well, and these are kids coming into teens, as well as with your family. How would you describe those interactions?
All of the interactions were nothing but positive. You work well with all kinds of children of any age,
Mm-hmm.
and adults. You listen to them, help them, share with them, encourage them. I mean, I've never, ever, ever, ever seen anything negative. Never.
Okay, good. Number 13, my favorite. How would you describe my relationship with your 4 cats?
Very loving and affectionate to all of them. You probably talked to them, played with them, gave them treats repeatedly more than I probably ever have.
Tanya would get mad at me because a bottle of treats would last about 4 days with these cats. So yeah,
Spoiled them rotten.
I know. But I'm under attack from a few hosts on Spreaker for being an evil, violent guy, and I just thought maybe this would help put things in context.
Not at all.
Well, I'll tell you what. Let's go freestyle here. What do you think? I mean, if you had to rate me on a scale of 1 to 10, if anybody ever called me a wife beater or a woman hater, what would you say?
Absolutely not. Not at all. I don't. You protect the ones you love. You stand up for what's right and what's fair.
Even if it's not popular?
Even if you don't love someone and care for someone, if someone's being bullied or not treated fairly, you're going to speak your opinion. We were all entitled to that.
That's
you
right.
would never hit or abuse unless someone was hitting me or my daughter or your daughter. In that case, it's different.
In that case, I would have physically destroyed them.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But you are in no way, shape, or form evil,
Mm-hmm.
a troll, a bully, none of the above.
Okay. Well, people are going to think, I'm sure, that I hired you to give this favor. We got a few more questions left that I wanted to ask, though, really quickly. Well, let's go ahead and continue with that. People are going to say, who is this Tanya? I know. It's probably Kevin's sister, and he put her up to this. Okay, so how can they get in touch with you if they have something to say or if they have some questions?
Well, if they have questions, they can email me. I'm not going to give out my cell number, but I will certainly answer any emails And
Okay.
if you want to give that to them when we're done, you can. It's on 16
Okay.
LubaBug@gmail.com. But, you know,
Okay.
I met you, or we went to school together. We were I was a freshman, you were a senior, but
Right.
still, that's when we first met each other.
Right.
And, I just can't, people will form their own opinions, but you didn't hire me, and everything I've answered is truth.
Okay. Also, in your past, and you've dealt with people who smoked heavy doses of pot or drank a lot of beer or used illegal drugs.
Yes, I have.
And did you find them often unpredictable or dishonest?
Absolutely.
Especially when under the influence of whatever it was their poison was?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay, now have you ever found me to be unpredictable or dishonest?
No, not at all.
Okay. All right, well, I think you've said everything I can think of that might help convince somebody who was sitting on the fence of what kind of person I am. And as you know, as I told you earlier on the phone, I'm not doing another defense show in my life. People will attack, and I'm tired of it. I mean, this is not fun for me. This is hard for me.
No, I can't imagine it is.
I mean, I'm having to relive this entire court battle I went through for 3 years because a few hosts have decided that they're going to attack me for it. And I don't want to go through this again, you know?
Well, of course you don't. And that's a pretty ballsy thing to do, considering they're, behind a microphone and a screen, and they've never met you, they've never met your family, they don't know
Right.
anything about your history. They're just digging up court records.
Yep.
And anybody, I don't care who you are, and especially if you're a psychopath, can lie
Absolutely.
and get away with it.
Absolutely. And I have to say, as a matter of record, that my ex-wife, and I won't say what it was about, did get caught in a lie in the family court, and it's in the transcripts. And the court immediately said, after this line of questioning, we will be questioning the defendant directly. In other words, her attorney was asking her questions. The court basically said, finish your line of question, and then we're going to be talking to her.
Well, here's one thing I want people to think about. You're talking about a woman who pretended to be a child.
Right.
Okay? A 13, 14-year-old child.
Right.
You don't do that.
Not if you're mentally healthy, you don't.
You don't do that. I don't pretend to be my daughter.
Right. And your relationship with your ex-husband, especially regarding your daughter, you would say that's a professional and courteous relationship?
Absolutely. I would, regardless, he would have to be an axe murderer for me to not let her be around, but we have a good relationship, and it reflects in her happiness.
Okay.
I don't think you do anybody any favors, and it happens every day, all day, unfortunately. People do split and go separate ways, but if you can't be amicable for the child's sake, at the very least, I've seen it firsthand. A child is so much happier when she can see and talk to both of her parents.
Absolutely. And if you ever look into parental alienation syndrome, which doesn't just have to be coming from either parent, typically it starts with one parent trying to turn a child against the other, but it can come from outside sources trying to turn a child against a parent.
Absolutely.
So, well, Ms. Tanya, you have been incredibly thankful. We have given people a way to get in touch with you. I was thinking that since they may think you're some kind of construct or a family member of mine, that maybe we could share your business, because you have a couple of businesses that you run with them, to give them even more confirmation that you're real and who you say you are.
Yes, I run a blog. It's called Book Hooking. My book hooking page can be on, all you have to do is Google Book Hooking. I'm on Twitter, I'm on Facebook, I'm on Goodreads. I know a lot of authors, I have a lot of friends. And then my other business is I make handmade jewelry and handmade cards and crafts, and I have a store on Etsy site, which is designed to a T.
Yeah.
So I am a real person and stay very busy.
Now, one further question about that. How hard would you say it is to write a book? Have you edited a book?